Yo, I don't know what just happened with that one. Anyway, let's reboot this over again. Jess was on the live. I don't know what happened, but anyway, uh, let the chat room fill back up because I know everybody probably like, what just happened? Like, I don't know, but we're gonna let everybody fill the chat room back up real quick. Just lost connection. I don't know what just happened, man. Anyway, come on back in. Come on back in. I don't know. I don't know, man. Malcolm, Desmond, I don't know what happened. Something just happened. YouTube was like, nah, not today. I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Perry Mathis, it wasn't me. Jonathan Brutus, Frank G, it wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. YouTube did something. I don't know. I was talking and all of a sudden YouTube was like, nah, not today, BucosLocker. Not today. We're not gonna have you on YouTube with your bandits and your crew trying to steal the booty. That's called treasure, people. Treasure. YouTube was like, no, not today. But anyway, I don't know what happened with that. That was weird. That was weird. But this is what comes with the territory, folks. When you were on the winning side, people start kind of throwing some shade at you. Even YouTube would throw some shade at you. You know what I'm saying? Even YouTube would throw some shade at you because they don't want to see the Bucs win. They don't want to see the Bucs get to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So they got to do that. They can't have channels like mine. They can't have channels like BucosLocker, spewing out Bucs talk. They don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I'm going to still fight through it. Adversity. The Bucs going through adversity right now, early in the season. Now, let's get back to it. Now, shouts out to everybody in the chat room. Yes, that's right, Desmond. Super Bowl bust. I don't care what any other fan base say. Even my fellow Bucs fan base. If you don't like the Super Bowl or bust motto for this year, you gotta get off the train. You got to get up. The train is on the tracks. If you are not with the Super Bowl or bust mentality as a Bucs fan, I don't know what you're cheering for this year. I don't know if you're cheering for just to get to the playoffs, just to have a winning season. I don't know what you're a Bucs fan for this year. Come back next year or 2022. For 2020, it is Super Bowl or bust. That's what it is. Get with it, Bucs fans. Get with it. You need to start telling these other fan bases we're going to the Super Bowl. You gotta have confidence within the fan base. You gotta have confidence. Energy spreads. Energy is shared amongst people. Energy is shared with the fan base. So you gotta be on the same. We all gotta be on the same page. Super Bowl or bust. We're trying to win right now. I don't have time to be waiting until 2022 or 2023. I want to win now. But anyway, we got Tom Brady, so it should be Super Bowl, right? Anyway, now let's get back to some adversity with Chris Godwin. Now, anyway, as you come in the chat room, like the live stream if you like the content, whatever. But let's get back down to business. All jokes aside, all fun to the side. On a serious note, Chris Godwin, our receiving core, was labeled one of the best in the NFL going into the season. And we spoke on this before the season start, how this team will be successful. And one of the things that will make this team successful is avoiding injuries. Remember what I told y'all? I even told y'all this last week. You know what I'm saying? Injuries will affect this team's chances of going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. And when you have injuries, as long as you got depth, you can overcome that, right? Now, if you look at the Bucs receiving core, dating back to last year, there were some injuries with the hamstrings. You know what I'm saying? And here we go again, beginning of the season. Mike Evans got hit with the hamstring situation. And then, Scotty Miller got nicked up. Justin Watson missed last game with a shoulder injury. Chris Godwin had a concussion. Then now, against the Broncos, he pulled a hamstring. Now, this is an ongoing problem amongst the Bucs receivers, getting hurt. I don't know what's up with the Bucs training staff. I don't know if they're running too many routes. I don't know if they're overexerting themselves physically with their legs. But this should be a wake-up call for the Bucs training staff, along with Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich. This should be a wake-up call. I forgot who the strength and conditioning coach name was. I forgot his name, but that staff got to get it together because this will cost us games. Because when you're missing weapons, it affects the offense, right? When you're missing a top 10 receiver like Chris Godwin, it affects the offense. You've seen how Mike Evans looked when he wasn't 100%. Week 1, he wasn't 100%, and you've seen what happened with that situation. You know what I'm saying? We've seen what happened with the Mike Evans hamstring issue. Week 1, Marshawn Lattimore, top 10 cornerback. Mike Evans didn't look the same. Scotty Miller been nicked up. He's nicked up right now this week. Justin Watson missed last game with a shoulder injury. Now here we are with Chris Godwin. He missed it. He had concussion. Concussion, folks. That's serious business. And then here we go again. Right back to Chris Godwin hamstrings. Mike Evans. This is going to be a thing that we need to watch as a fan base. I know we all excited. I know we are all excited. I know we are. I'm excited for this season. I am ecstatic. I look. This is going to be a great season. This is going to be a special season for the Tampa Bay Bucs. But injuries will hurt us. But when you have injuries, if you got depth, you can survive. We should be able to survive with Chris Godwin being hurt because this offense is still functional. We got tight ends. Now, this is an opportunity for the tight ends to get involved more. Gronkowski had 6 catches last week. O.J. Howard had a couple catches, had a great catch up the sideline, or Joey, whatever that linebacker. And Cameron Brake maybe can get into action. But the point I'm trying to make is Chris Godwin is hurt. He's going to be gone for 2 games. That's the Chargers and the Bears. 2 defenses that got pretty good secondary cover guys. You know, the Chargers have Casey Hayward and Chris Harris Jr. Those are pretty good cover guys. So now the focus is going to be on Mike Evans. They're going to put a corner or the safety over the top. They're going to take Mike Evans out the game, but I'm not going to get into that yet. But with Chris Godwin missing, the tight ends got to step up. Gronkowski can be more vital. Also, Chris Harris is on IR. Okay, that's even better. That's even better. See, I'm telling y'all, this season, we're catching these teams at the right time. We are not beating these teams full strength. I mean, don't disregard what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we're catching these teams at the right time. These teams are injured. And we got to take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Broncos was injured. You know what I'm saying? Panthers had injuries going on. You know, the Chargers got injuries. So we got to take advantage of these games. So when I do the preview video tomorrow, I have more up-to-date information with the Chargers injuries. But so his name is Anthony Petroli. So the Bucs strength and conditioning coach is Anthony Petroli. He needs to get with the program. He needs to work on the Bucs receivers' hamstrings. Like they got to find out the eating habits. What is causing these injuries with the Bucs receivers? Why are the Bucs receivers the most hurt position on the team right now? The Bucs receivers are the most injured part of the team. Like if you look at the team in individual groups, the receivers are the most injured right now. They stay hurt. You know, and it's unfortunate that we having these issues now. I'd rather have these issues now versus week 9, 10, 11, 12, down the stretch run. So let's get all this stuff out the way. Concussions, the hamstrings, the shoulder, the ankles. But this is a concerning situation for me. Like as a fan of the Bucs, this is very concerning because we've seen this last year. But the offense still should be able to move the ball because we got a running game. And I know there's been some disgruntled and some talk about the Bucs running game not really producing right now, but you know, I got faith that the running game will help the passing offense with missing Chris Godwin and you know Scotty Miller being you know kind of nicked up and Justin Watson's coming off of a shoulder injury. So the running game should be able to back up the passing game. See, this is the point. This is why we got Leonard Fournette. And Ronald Jones, you know, he's doing his thing. But this is the reason why the running game was upgraded to overcome, you know, injuries in the passing game. You know, and this passing game has been cut down to basic level simplified reads, less risky throws. So the offense has been more simplified and less complex than previous Bruce Arians offenses. So Brady should still be able to dissect and depth by 1,000 cuts in the passing game. Scotty Miller, Justin Watson, dump balls real quick and a couple deep shots. We can live with that. You know what I'm saying? So don't expect a lot of big plays. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, when you're missing a top 10 receiver, things kind of change a little bit, regardless of the depth we got. Because Chris Godwin is an elite receiver. He's a top 10 receiver. He's a Pro Bowl, All-Pro receiver. You feel me? So when you're missing that, we've seen this already. As a Bucs fan base, we've seen receivers missing in this offense, and this offense was still big play. But that's a different type of offense. This offense is not designed like that. We're making a transition over to the Tom Brady offense. We're almost at 80% right now. You get what I'm saying? We're almost at an 80% Tom Brady offense. We seen the Panthers in the Broncos game. The throws have been cut down after week 1. Them risky throws that he made in week 1, you won't see those no more. I mean, can the offense still move? Of course it can move. It can still be productive, just in a different type of way. Right to the screen, behind line scrimmage screen, running back screen. We can still, because we got LaShawn McCoy, we can still be effective and still move the ball, but it won't be no huge plays all the time. You get what I'm saying? So Chris Godwin him not being in the passing game does change some things in the passing game, but it won't stop us from moving the ball. It won't stop Tom Brady from moving the offense because we got tight ends. We got the running backs for the quick dump offs, the check downs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got weapons within the 0 to 12 yards, and we got a couple of shots with Scotty Miller as long as he's healthy. Now, I know he's nicked up, but we can still take some shots with Scotty Miller. Mike Evans, I don't know if his deep balls is going to be there this year. I mean, it'll be a couple of back shoulder throws here and there, typical throws, easy throws. No traffic throws, one-on-one throws, back shoulder, verticals, I call them. Vertical back shoulder throws. Maybe a couple seam routes to Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, and a deep crossing route with Scotty Miller. You get what I'm saying? Like, I gave you 3 routes that you're going to see a lot in the Tom Brady offense. Because it's easy to identify what he likes to do. And it's between the hashes and a couple of, scatter shot throws. And he'll give you a couple deep balls. It'll be timely deep balls. But just because Chris Godwin is gone for a couple weeks, so what? And I'm not downplaying his impact, but we got too much talent. Remember, I told y'all this. I told y'all, no excuses. We're too loaded. We're loaded. Because if the offense don't produce, we got a defense. Second year in Todd Bowles' defense, you see how they playing, right? Dating back to the last 6 games last year, in the first 3 games of the season, you see how the defense look. So if the offense don't produce at a high level, we have a defense to keep the opponent's offense under 20 points. You get what I'm saying? So this is one of the great things about having a complete team, which we have failed in previous years. And I don't care what you say about that. We have never had a complete team, period. This year, we have a complete team. We have other areas that can make up for the lack of production in other areas. Special teams playing good. That should help with the loss of Chris Godwin, right? Make our field goals. We're going to get in field goal range. He's going to make us extra points. He's not going to miss kicks. We have a running game, which we have failed at. We have failed at for the last 4 years. We failed at that. We got a running game now. The pass blocking is still in question. I know the running blocking is not there, but we got too much talent to say, well, Chris Godwin's hurt and we can't move the ball. And I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear the excuses of, man, I don't know what we're going to do. Just turn around and run the ball a bit more. Find ways to get the ball to the tight ends. Brady can dissect 0 to 12. He can dissect all day. 12-play drives, 10-play drives, 6 minutes off the clock, dinking and dunking. I don't care about that. That's his style. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what he's going to do to get the ball down the field, Deep shot, back short throw. I'm good with that. We got tight ends, and we still got Mike Evans, we still got Scotty Miller, we still got Justin Watson. I don't want to hear excuses. We can still move the ball. I know it sound like a little coming off a little harsh and a little tough on, some of you Bucs fans just can't really take that because it's like, dang, BucosLocker, you're being a little bit too aggressive. You're being too mean. But remember I told y'all, I don't want to hear excuses. We're loaded, remember? When you have a loaded team, when you have depth, you can overcome injuries from Chris Godwin to Mike Evans, Scotty Miller, Justin Watson. We have Tom Brady. Tom Brady has made receivers no names look good. So we still have enough talent to move the ball. We got 3 tight ends. 3 tight ends. Brady has never had this much weapons before. So we can overcome the Bucs offense. I think but the Bucs offense can overcome an injury to Chris Godwin. It's not hard. I don't want to hear excuses. That's the point I'm trying to make to y'all. So we got a super chat by Zach Jarvis. Let me read your super chat real quick. The super chat. Brady used to not having talent like we do now. It's just a piece with Chris Godwin. Let him rest because we will need everyone later. Exactly, Jarvis. We're going to need everyone later, down the road. We're going to need these guys, especially Chris Godwin, when we play the Packers and the Chiefs. Even the Falcons offense, the Rams offense. We're going to need to keep up with those guys. They're going to score points on their defense. They're too explosive. You know what I'm saying? We can't stop everybody. There's no perfect defensive season. This is not the Chicago 1985 Bears defense or the Bucs 2002 defense, you know what I'm saying, or the Giants. We got a top 5 defense, but you get what I'm saying. We're not an all-time great defense yet. We can't now. There's a possibility we can be an all-time great defense, but we got to do that against top-level quarterbacks, not against Brent Ripken and Jeff Driscoll and Teddy Bridgewater, or washed-up Drew Brees. Those quarterbacks are not at the upper echelon. Those quarterbacks are at the bottom, pretty much. Drew Brees is washed. We're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat the Saints the second time. Drew Brees is washed. He got a noodle arm. I've been watching the Saints fan base for the last couple of days. They are in disarray. They're in disarray right now. They don't know who their quarterback is. They don't want Drew Brees as a quarterback. They're not too sure of Taysom Hill. I've been watching, folks. I watch divisional opponents, man. I've been watching because I know we got to deal with those teams later on this season. But Drew Brees is washed. Jeff Driscoll, Brent Ripken, that's not going to scare anybody. Teddy Bridgewater's not going to scare anybody. I want to see this defense at top level quarterbacks. Quarterbacks that's actually producing. We got Justin Herbert, a rookie. Okay, we'll win that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember, I told y'all, games like these doesn't matter to me. We're going to win. But we got to be able to overcome injuries. We got to become more efficient. Even with despite of loss of Chris Godwin, we got to be able to overcome these injuries. And we will. We definitely will. We have the firepower. I know it doesn't look great right now. Remember, I told you about week 8. The offense still look a little skittish. First half, the offense looked really good. Like maybe the first quarter and most of the second quarter, the offense looks really good. And then in the second half, the offense looks, I don't know what's going on. They're still trying to get that second half game plan down. We have not had a complete offensive game yet. And we will get to that point. But it's just going to take some time. Because I'm not going to say, well, I'm not giving excuses to the offense because we're too explosive. Even though it's a different style of offense, that offense is still explosive. We got to understand. We got to understand how this works. It's okay. It's okay for us to struggle in certain areas, certain downs, distance, and all that stuff. Because if you go look at the offensive efficiency, there's certain areas that we're top 10 in, like, a lot of touchdowns. So I think we're like top 10 in touchdowns. But there's some other areas that we're not efficient enough in offensively. Because if you go look at the breakdown, we got some areas that we need to get more better in. You know, our third down efficiency is okay. Our running game is still kind of at the bottom a little bit, but I see things that the running game is going to improve. The passing game is, fluttery. The quarterback play is okay. Room for improvement. You get what I'm saying? Like this is not the full product yet. This is not the full Bucs team yet, folks. So be patient. Be patient with the running game because it's going to come. This game might be a prime example of, okay, Chris Godwin, you're out. Well, we're going to turn into the running game and we're going to turn into short passing game, which we already doing right now. We still have enough weapons to overcome Chris Godwin's injury for 2 weeks, folks. These next 2 games, 2 weeks. These are tricky games. Chargers and the Bears. They both got decent defenses. The Bears got a better defense. They're more healthier. I'm very interested in that game. You know what I'm saying? So just be patient, folks. I know Chris Godwin's hurt. I know it's kind of like, dang, but we got enough weapons. We're loaded, remember? We have enough receivers to overcome his injuries. Remember, Scotty Miller looks like on low key. I'm just going to say low key. Scotty Miller looks like Brady's favorite receiver. Am I seeing this? Am I seeing this wrong? Am I looking at the tape wrong? Like when he throws the ball to Scotty Miller, the balls look crispy. It's like he has a lot of confidence throwing the ball to Scotty Miller. Now he's gonna have confidence throwing the ball to Gronkowski because he's been throwing the ball to Gronkowski for a long time. But the connection with Scotty Miller, it just seems like it's more in tune than anybody on the team right now. This is just right now. Just for right now. I know the chemistry between Brady and Evans is not there yet. Evans had 2 catches last week for 2 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns in the red zone. So that's pretty good. But 2 catches for 2 yards, we're going to need more from Mike Evans. I don't know what was up with the situation with Brady and Evans against the Broncos. Just only 2 catches for 2 yards, a top 12 receiver, and Mike Evans 2 catches for 2 yards. Did the Broncos take him out the game completely like that? You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of threw me off a little bit. But that was the Broncos game plan. Vic Fangio is a pretty good defensive coordinator. If the Broncos had a healthy defense, I think they would have gave us more problems with Von Miller, AJ Boye, and a couple other guys if they would have been healthy all the way. But I just want to see more improvement because we have weapons. If they're going to take Evans out of the game because now we don't have Chris Godwin, what's Scotty Miller and Justin Watson, as long as they don't be running those out routes, step up. And I know somebody brought up in the chat room, they brought up Tyler Johnson. Now, Tyler Johnson, I don't know what's up with him. I had high expectations for Tyler Johnson. I watched him in Minnesota Beast with Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman will be a first-round pick because he's better than Tyler Johnson. I saw the tape. I watched Big Ten football. I watch all football, folks. I can pretty much talk about any team across the board. Try me. But what I'm saying is he's been hurt off and on. He hasn't really he hasn't been caught up to speed yet. Hopefully, yeah, exactly, Kent. Brady likes the shifty receivers. He's not used to the Mike Evans type. But Tyler Johnson will show up at some point. He got too much talent to not even make some type of plays this season. I expect him to make some plays this season, but not right now. We have Scotty Miller. We have Justin Watson. We have Mike Evans. We have Gronkowski. We have O.J. Howard. Because don't get me wrong, the offense do look different when one of the 2 big receivers are not there. And we saw this. We saw this before. We saw this scenario. We saw this act before. Remember, Evans and Godwin was out last year towards the end of the season. And the offense was humming. Even without those guys. I expect the same thing this year. Godwin is missing. Miller is nicked up a little bit. And Justin Watson coming off an injury a little bit too. So the offense still can hum. Don't be surprised the tight ends make up for the Chris Godwin injury for these next 2 games. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. And I know it might be a reach, but for these next two games. Chris Godwin out with a hamstring injury. I'm expecting big games from O.J. Howard and Gronkowski. Mike Evans going to get some more targets. But I'm expecting big games from Gronkowski and O.J. Howard. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. Because we got too much talent to still be to take a big drop. The drop from not having Chris Godwin to having Chris Godwin to not having Chris Godwin is not that much. That means Brady get to utilize even more. He get to spread the ball even more. LaShawn McCoy with the dump offs, a possible Leonard Fournette swing route. There's many different ways to get the ball to our talented core of receivers and running backs and tight ends. So I can't accept any excuses from Bucs fans talking about, well, Chris Godwin not here, so the offense is going to look different. No, not really. Just a little bit, but we can still move the ball. And I told y'all how we can move the ball. So I want y'all to just stay in tune. Stay with the course. Stay with the plan. The offense still going to get better. We still going to improve. We still going to move the ball. The offensive style won't change. It's still going to be 0 to 12 throws, 0 yards to 12-yard throws, a couple of verticals, and maybe a seam route. Those are the 3 throws that you're going to see a lot in this offense. Seam route, tight end, back shoulder, verticals, dump offs to the running backs, tight ends, and a couple wide receiver screens. It's very easy to pretty much see what we're doing on offense. Go back and look at the tape. It's very easy to see what we're doing on offense. It's very simplified, very basic. All that option route crap, them risky throws, no more. That pick 6 against the Saints, you won't see that. So y'all gotta keep the faith. Y'all gotta keep the positive energy. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna beat the Chargers. We're gonna beat the Chargers. We're going to have a better, efficient offensive game plan. Byron Leftwich, Tom Brady still trying to figure it out. It's the second half that's got to get better because the first half looks really good. Like the first 15 to 20 plays, the Bucs look like world beaters. Correct me if I'm wrong. The first 15 to 20 plays, offensively, the Bucs look like nobody can stop us. It's just when after those first 15 to 20 punches, and a couple jabs and a couple hooks and the overhands. And then when the opponent figures it out, we kind of get a little flustered. Like, what are we trying to do here? Are we trying to run the ball? Are we trying to power run? Because we can't zone block. We don't have the old lineman to zone block. I don't know why we don't zone block for Ronald Jones. I think he'll be a better zone block running back. But after our couple blows to the opponent, once the opponent started getting the rhythm of what we're doing offensively in the second quarter, toward the end, third and fourth quarter, we kind of bogged down. And Byron Leftwich just gotta get better. Like if you go back and look at the efficiency, second half efficiency for the Bucs, we're one of the worst in the NFL. Like we're not top 10 in the second half. Offensively, offensive efficiency, second half is, I'm not saying atrocious, but it just looks like a stalemate. It looked like you're trying to do the same thing in the first half. You didn't make adjustments, and it's not going to work against high-end teams. So the Bucs got to get better in the second half because second half we look like a totally different team. The defense still playing. The defense played from first quarter to fourth quarter. Granted, I know. Remember I told y'all. Panthers, Broncos, the defense going to look really good. These are bottom of the barrel quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater is okay. He's an average, just below average quarterback. Brent Ricken, Jeff Driscoll, they're not world beaters. Drew Brees, 41 years old, noodle arm, he washed. So you really, how good can you grade the Bucs defense? They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're shutting these teams down, granted with injuries and weak quarterback play, but they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're building confidence. And by the time they get to the Aaron Rodgers, the Matt Ryans, the Jared Goffs, the Patrick Mahomes, we're going to look really good because we got all the confidence. We got the swag. You get what I'm saying? So, like I told y'all, the point of this video is Yeah, it was about Chris Godwin, but it's injuries. That's the with Murphy Bunting. Same thing. Murphy Bunting and Chris Godwin, kind of like the same type of guy. One on defense, one on offense. Injuries will derail this team. It will hold this team back, offensively and defensively. We've seen this act before. But with the coaching staff that we got, offensively and defensively, we'll be able to overcome injuries. Injuries. We will overcome the Chris Godwin injury. We will still put up some points against the Chargers. They got a decent defense, even with some injuries. But not at full. A full strength Chargers defense will give the Bucs offense huge problems. A healthy Melvin Ingram, a healthy Chris Harris Jr., a healthy Derwin James. I don't know if we beat them. You get what I'm saying? So we're catching these teams at the right time. Take advantage of it. The Bucs are going to take advantage of the Chargers. Justin Herbert. Todd Bowles is going to confuse him. You know what? I'm not even going to get into that. I'm going to leave the preview video alone right now. I'm going to talk about that Thursday. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. But Chris Godwin, get healthy. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, 3 weeks, really, if you look at it. So the Chargers game, he's going to miss. And the Bears game, he's going to miss. So he'll be back in time. Was it Giants, Raiders after that? So he'll be back for the Giants game, I believe, after the Bears game. Is it the Bears or the Giants? One or two, but he'll be okay. We will still be, we'll get better. We'll become more efficient. We'll call a better second half game plan. And the routes are not going to change. You know, wide receiver screen, LaShawn McCoy dump off, Scotty Miller receiver screen, Gronkowski seam route, O.J. Howard up the sideline, vertical throws. No throws in the traffic. That's too risky. So no out routes. And we'll be all right. We'll be all right. The offense can keep moving without Chris Godwin. So, yeah, Evans fade route. So, very simplistic offense, man. It's not hard to figure it out. Just go back and watch the tape. I like it. It's efficient, no turnovers, productive, time consuming. Some of y'all call it boring. Oh, the offense is boring. It's not explosive. And this and that. Oh, you know what I'm saying? We got all these weapons. It's boring. All these dinking and dunking, these errant throws and a couple good throws. So what? We're winning games. We're winning games. That's what matters. We're winning games. That's what matters. We accept that. Accept the offense for what it is. So for those of you that's complaining about the offense is not explosive and where is the explosive plays and down the field shots and the risky throws, that's not going to happen with Chris Godwin or without Chris Godwin. Pay attention, folks. The yards per catch are down across the board. Chris Godwin can't get his footing down because him and Brady still trying to get a chemistry together. He's hurt. Mike Evans, hamstring injury. They still trying to get it together. So expect to see this type of offense the first 8 weeks. I'm just concerned about the bigger games, the Chiefs game, and then the Rams, the offenses that can score. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep up, but we'll be okay. We got a defense too. Good luck for you offenses out there. You fan bases out there that got the Bucs on your schedule with your offense game plan. Todd Bowles got a little word with you. I don't think it's going to work. Josh Jacobs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Todd Gurley. Dalvin Cook. David Montgomery. Kerryon Johnson, Adrian Peterson. Henderson from the Rams. Kamara. Christian McCaffrey. Not against this defense. Not against this defense. Aaron Jones. You gonna have to throw that ball. You gonna have to throw that ball against us, fam. You better be a top 10, top 5 quarterback to beat the Bucs. That's the only way you're gonna beat us. And we gonna beat us. We have to beat ourselves. That's how you're gonna beat the Bucs. But if you're a top 5 quarterback, I don't know, man. You might not beat us, fam. Anyway, I said 11-5, but it looks like we might be a little bit better than 11-5. Remember, we're catching these teams at the right time. Injuries. We got enough talent overall to overcome injuries. A lot of teams, 49ers, a lot of teams don't have the talent. The 49ers, half of their squad, half of their starters are injured. The 49ers, half of their squad is injured. They still winning games. '49ers, half of their squad is injured. Half of their Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, Richard Sherman been hurt. They running backs been hurt, and they still winning games. You want to know why? Depth and no excuses in the system. And the Bucs got the same setup. The 49er fans are rejoicing because they drafted well and they got a good system. The Bucs got the same thing. They got rid of the no risk it, no biscuit. Too risky. They inserted Tom Brady, made him his offense, and we got a lot of depth on defense, and we got depth at receiver and tight end. We're going to win games, folks. Anyway. There you have it, folks. My thoughts on the Chris Godwin injury situation with the receivers, and I gave you a little bit more than that too, a little extra, but that's what BucosLocker like to do, locker room talk. You know what I'm saying? I like to give you a little bit more than what the actual title of the video says. So we'll be okay. I will give you the preview video tomorrow or Thursday, the Bucs versus Chargers. So stay tuned for that. That will be, live as well. So stay tuned for that. So with that being said, shouts out to everybody in the chat room. Appreciate y'all joining the live stream in the middle of the day. I got work to do. I hope you got work to do too. So with that being said, shouts out to all the bandits, the pirates, everybody across the Bucs family, across social media. Keep doing your thing. Keep supporting the team. Keep being a hungry fan base. Don't take no mess from no other fan base. Keep doing your thing. Keep representing the Bucs because I'm doing my part. I'm going to need you to do your part. So I want y'all to fire those cannons. Seize the day. Raise the flag. No risk it. Tom Brady biscuit. Super Bowl of bus. Hashtag ain't no chill. Hashtag no excuses. BucosLocker out. Enjoy your day. Peace.